Socrates once said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." I've always kept that sentiment close to my heart. This makes me remember that intelligent individuals are self-aware. They know how little they know and are always looking for ways to learn more. But here's the thing. Knowing a lot doesn't automatically make someone intelligent. Their wisdom is in their silence. Looking to the ancient Stoics for guidance, we will delve into the 13 things an intelligent person never says. If you wish to continue progressing emotionally, intellectually, and psychologically, you should stay around until the finish of the video, because it will give you a much better notion of the phrases and thoughts you should leave behind. Also, if you want to continue learning and growing with us, click the subscribe button right now and become a part of the channel. Let's get started. Number 1. I know everything. The first thing that a person who is intelligent will never say is, "I know everything." This is the kind of comment that not only reeks of arrogance, but also indicates that you have ceased learning new things. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus is credited with saying, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Curiosity and the realization that there is no limit to the amount of information obtained are essential to the development of intelligence. As soon as you assert that you are completely knowledgeable, you are cutting yourself off from the boundless world of opportunities and education. An intelligent individual is aware that every interaction, every book, and every experience presents an opportunity to acquire new perspectives and understandings. Even the ancient Stoics, who were held in high esteem for their wisdom, made it a point to underline the need of humility in the learning process. One of the most influential emperors in Roman history, Marcus Aurelius, was a devoted Stoic who said in his meditations, "Look beneath the surface. Let not the several quality of a thing nor its worth escape thee." In other words, there is always something more to discover, and there is always a deeper layer to comprehend. Those who believe they have a complete understanding of everything frequently fail to recognize the most significant opportunities for growth. They stop asking questions, they stop listening, and finally they stop developing on a personal level. It is not the possession of all the answers that constitutes true intelligence. Rather, it is the diligent pursuit of those answers. The only true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. Socrates, another great of ancient philosophy, is credited as saying. On the contrary, it is not about possessing all the answers, but rather about asking the appropriate questions. It is important to keep this in mind the next time you find yourself tempted to believe, or even worse, to say, that you know everything. The most intellectual individuals are not those who have all the answers. Rather, they are those who never stop looking for them. Number 2. That's impossible. At first glance, this one is a killer of creativity. When you assert that something is impossible, you are putting restrictions on the things that can be accomplished. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, was a firm believer in the importance of flexibility and perseverance. It was once claimed by him, "You have control over your mind. You are not powerless over external circumstances. Once you come to terms with this, you will discover your strength." People that are intelligent do not declare, "That's impossible," because they are aware that by altering their mentality, they are able to find solutions to even the most difficult situations. The Stoics had a profound comprehension of the way in which our perception and reality are intertwined. Not only are you characterizing the exterior world when you declare something to be impossible, but you are also projecting your own internal constraints onto the item in question. When Epictetus taught that it is not the events themselves that cause us distress, but rather the judgments that we place upon them, he shared this way of thinking. As he put it, man is not worried by real problems so much as he's worried by his imagined anxieties about real realities. From where we are now standing, what we consider to be impossible is sometimes nothing more than our inability to see the possibilities. Imagine every significant step forward in human history, such as the first man to travel to the moon, the discovery of electricity, or the mapping of the human genome. There was a time when each of these situations was regarded as impossible. One person, however, who has sufficient fortitude and insight, refused to believe that. The impossible finally became a reality as they continued to push themselves and adapt to new circumstances. A person who is intelligent is aware that restrictions are frequently imposed by themselves. Instead than approaching challenges with a sense of failure, they approach them with interest, asking questions such as, "What can be done?" or "How can we make this work?" It is essential to make this mental change. Intelligent individuals are more likely to be receptive to innovative problem-solving and innovation than they are to be willing to accept that something cannot be successfully accomplished. Therefore, the next time you find yourself thinking or saying, "That's impossible," keep in mind that the limit of what is possible is frequently only waiting for someone who has sufficient capacity for vision to push past it. Number 3, I don't need your help. Some individuals have the misconception that asking for help is a sign of weakness. Nevertheless, in reality, it is a display of power. It was Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, who had a good understanding of this. It was remarked by him that no man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity to begin with. The point that Seneca is trying to make is that when things are going well, it is simple to assume that you are capable of handling everything on your own. However, it is only when things are difficult that you realize the significance of having help. The capacity to perceive that assistance from others does not decrease their capabilities, but rather expands their potential, is a characteristic of intelligent people. Seeking assistance demonstrates self-awareness, which is an essential component of intelligence. Because of this, you are self-assured enough to acknowledge the things that you do not know, and modest enough to acknowledge the possibility that another person may possess the knowledge or skills necessary to aid you. The foundation of this way of thinking is a profound realization that none of us are complete experts in every subject. It was common practice for Stoic thinkers to seek advice and guidance from one another. Marcus Aurelius placed his trust on his counselors and mentors, despite the fact that he was the emperor. He was aware that no man can reign alone. People that are intelligent place a high importance on collaboration, since they are aware that it results in growth, not only personal advancement, but also communal progression. In many cases, two minds are better than one, and they are aware that mixing multiple points of view results in solutions that are more effective. To be more specific, one of the fundamental tenets of the Stoic philosophy is the concept of sympatheia, which refers to the notion that we are all interconnected and that we flourish when we collaborate for the benefit of society as a whole. The refusal to accept assistance is frequently motivated by pride or the fear of appearing weak. Yet, true wisdom rests in the ability to recognize when it is appropriate to rely on the assistance of others. recognizing that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather a gateway to learning, progress, and accomplishing more than you could on your own, is the primary focus here. When you find yourself thinking, "I don't need your help," take a moment to pause and think about what you're saying. Are you able to advance if you accept assistance? Might it result in a solution more quickly? Astute individuals are aware that no one ever reaches greatness by working alone. Number 4, I don't care. It is the enemy of growth to be indifferent. You are sending a message to the world that you have disengaged from the situation by saying, "I don't care," which is a form of disengagement. Apathy of this kind was something that Marcus Aurelius cautioned against. One of his statements was, "You have to put together your life on your own, step by step." When Marcus Aurelius said that life is a succession of decisions and actions that shape who we are, he was referring to the nature of our existence. Every single choice, regardless of how insignificant it may seem, contributes to the formation of your personality, your principles, and eventually your level of achievement. In addition to having a profound care for the things that are important to them, intelligent individuals are aware of the significance of actively interacting with the opportunities and difficulties that life presents. Being able to say, "I don't care," is a convenient way out. In this way, you might shield yourself from the possibility of failure, criticism, or even individual responsibility. On the other hand, disengagement comes with a cost. It's not just about evading responsibilities. It's also about missing out on opportunities for personal development. You cut yourself off from the potential experiences and lessons that could help you become a more powerful and wiser person when you choose to disregard it and not care about it. Other Stoic philosophers such as Seneca were quoted as saying, "It is not that we have a short time to live, rather, it is that we waste a lot of it." And what could possibly be a more wasteful situation than indifference? The act of caring demands effort, but it is also the path that leads to fulfillment. The things you care about will motivate you to change and improve, whether it is in your career, your relationships, or even your own personal growth. People who are intelligent are aware that caring, and by that we mean actually caring, provides them with a sense of purpose. Moreover, meaningful conduct is driven by a sense of purpose. Additionally, Marcus Aurelius exhorted people to behave with intent by noting, "What we do now echoes in eternity." When you care, you leave behind a legacy that includes development, effort, and an impact that is meaningful. While indifference may give the impression of being a shield, in truth, it is a wall that prevents you from experiencing your life to the fullest. This wall is broken down by those who are intelligent. The fact that they care about their passions, their communities, and their own personal development is because they are aware that this is the only way to bring about change that is long-lasting. Number 5. That's not my job. It's possible that this sentence is one of the most risky things you may say in your professional life. How come? Because progress occurs when you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, and staying rigidly committed to what is expected of you will keep you locked in a rut. As Seneca put it in his writing, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." Intelligent individuals never restrict themselves by thinking in this manner. Rather, they take initiative and seize chances, even if doing so requires them to go beyond what is formally considered to be their job. When someone says, "That's not my job," They're essentially shutting the door to opportunities for personal development and professional advancement. People that are intelligent are aware that they can differentiate themselves from others by taking initiative and doing things that others will not do. Not only do they accept responsibility for their own responsibilities, but they also take ownership of the greater vision. They create a reputation for being someone who solves problems rather than someone who avoids them by going above and beyond what is required of them. This allows them to acquire new talents and fresh views. This willingness to go above and beyond is frequently what opens doors to new chances and advancements in one's career. Epictetus made the point that how we respond to adversity is the most important aspect of life. The remarks that he made were as follows: "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views that we take of them." The statement, "That's not my job," is a restrictive viewpoint that serves as a means of evading responsibilities. Those that are intelligent believe that every difficulty presents an opportunity. They are aware of the fact that when you cease defining what constitutes your obligation and what does not, you increase your adaptability, your resilience, and ultimately your value. When you stop and think about it, the most successful people in any area did not get there by just performing what was required of them. They achieved their goal by taking on additional responsibilities, which included acquiring new skills, finding solutions to problems that were not their responsibility, and demonstrating that they were capable of dealing with unforeseen circumstances. The Stoics were aware that adversity is frequently the source of personal development. The words, "What stands in the way becomes the way," were written by Marcus Aurelius himself. The challenges, the additional responsibilities, and the issues that are not part of your job description are the precise things that will contribute to your progress if you are willing to confront them head-on. So, the next time you find yourself tempted to remark, "That's not my job," give some thought to the opportunities that you are passing up because you are not taking action. People that are intelligent view these occasions as opportunities to learn, grow, and demonstrate their value. When all is said and done, the more you do, the more you develop. And the more you develop, the more success you will find. Number 6. I'll do it later. Procrastination is analogous to a slow poison. It does not do immediate harm, but it completely obliterates your development over the course of time. It was Marcus Aurelius who emphasized the significance of taking action, saying, "Do not waste any more time arguing about what a good man ought to be." The phrase, "be one." In other words, not only should you think about what you need to accomplish, but you should also take action and do it right away. When a person with intelligence has something that is vital to do, they put it into action. They are smart enough to realize that putting things off would only make the mountain more difficult to climb in the future. When you say, "I'll do it later," you run the risk of developing a habit of doing it eventually. Putting off a single chore is not enough. You must also cultivate a mentality in which avoiding exertion becomes as natural as breathing. This way of thinking can be crippling to one's chances of long-term success. When Seneca said, "While we waste our time hesitating and postponing, life is slipping away," he was also sending a warning about the consequences of procrastination. Every time you put something off, you are wasting a moment that you could have used to advance in your objectives, to learn something new, or to get closer to doing what you want to do. People with intelligence are aware that their time is the most valuable asset they possess. They have come to the realization that the things that they put off until tomorrow will simply accumulate and become more difficult to handle. They open up mental space and energy for new opportunities by confronting things head-on and completing them at the proper time. This allows them to take advantage of new opportunities. To achieve this discipline, it is not enough to simply cross items off your list of things to accomplish. You must also work to develop momentum. Action makes it easier to continue going forward, which is how progress is made. The more actions you perform, the easier it is to achieve progress. During his discussion on the significance of discipline, Epictetus made the following statement: "No great thing is created suddenly." Achieving excellent achievements requires taking action on a daily basis and doing so consistently. Individuals who are intelligent are aware of this. They do not wait for the perfect time or for motivation to strike. Rather, they take action even when they do not feel like it. They do this because they are aware that even the smallest of actions done today will lead to significant achievements in the future. When you are faced with the temptation to say, "I'll do it later," keep in mind that later frequently evolves into never. As a result of the realization that procrastination is the enemy of success, intelligent individuals grasp the moment and get things done. Number 7. It's not fair. Since life isn't fair, Stoicism teaches us that we can't control what happens to us outside of ourselves. The only thing we can control is how we react to it. Epictetus explained it best when he remarked, "It is not what happens to you that matters. What matters is how you react to it." It is not possible to alter the unfairness of a situation by complaining about it. Doing so will simply deplete your energy and divert your attention away from finding answers. Those with intelligence are aware of this. They concentrate on the things that they are able to manage, such as their behaviors, their thinking, and the amount of work they put forth, rather than on the things that are out of their control. Self-pity is a kind of externalizing responsibility for your situation, and saying "it's not fair" is a sort of self-pity. On the other hand, sensible individuals are aware that fairness is an illusion. Every single one of us is confronted with difficulties, impediments, and setbacks that appear to be unfair. On the other hand, everything that actually defines us is how we react to the problems we face. One of the most influential Stoic thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, wrote in his Meditations that you have power over your mind, not over an external event. Make this a reality, and you will discover your strength. The unfairness of life is not a reason to quit up. Rather, it is an encouragement to rise above it and overcome it instead. Smart people focus their energy on building resilience rather than getting caught up in the debate over what constitutes fair or unfair behavior. They adjust, they acquire new knowledge, and they proceed forward. If you continue to complain about fairness, you will simply continue to be trapped in a victim mentality. The Stoics argued that we should strive for virtue rather than justice in our actions. They held the belief that the actual measure of success is constantly working to improve oneself and being the best version of oneself, regardless of the circumstances at hand. According to a quote attributed to Seneca, "Fate leads the willing and drags along the others." That is to say, life will happen regardless of whether you grumble about it or not. Thus, why not come face to face with it with determination? Intelligent people are able to create their own opportunities by concentrating on their efforts and attitudes, even when the odds are stacked against them. They are aware that failures in life, regardless of how harsh they may be, are frequently the impetus for personal development and achievement. They do not grumble, but rather adapt and flourish as a result. Therefore, the next time you find yourself inclined to exclaim, "It's not fair," challenge yourself to think about what you can do to make your position better. Complaining is a completely pointless activity. The act of taking action does. Number 8. I can't do this. We sometimes give ourselves a falsehood when we use the word can't. A limiting thought is one that has the effect of limiting our potential and hindering our ability to flourish. The importance of self-belief and resiliency was underlined by Epictetus, who said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you know you have to do." The significance of how one thinks is brought into focus by this remarkable statement. A mental hurdle is created when someone says, "I can't." Yet intelligent people don't stop at that place. They understand that even if they do not immediately possess the solution, they are able to acquire knowledge, practice, and figure it out. When confronted with a difficulty, it is normal to experience feelings of uncertainty. Intelligent people, on the other hand, are aware that the initial impression of "I can't" is frequently nothing more than dread disguised as a different emotion. They overcome this fear by shifting their mentality in a different direction. They tend to view a challenge as an opportunity for progress rather than an impediment that is impossible to overcome. They question themselves, "What can I learn from this?" when they are confronted with adversity. Alternatively, what are some different ways that I could approach this? On one occasion, Seneca made the following observation: "The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity." It is not the absence of fear that defines a person as brave. Rather, it is the ability to face that dread and proceed regardless of it. Intelligent people do not shy away from adversity because they are aware that every obstacle presents them with an opportunity to grow and develop their skills. At first, they might not know how to do something, but what differentiates them from others is their desire to learn and adapt to new situations. For that matter, every significant accomplishment in the annals of history has been preceded by an innumerable number of instances of "I can't." Consider the achievements of pioneers, explorers, and leaders who overcame challenges that appeared to be insurmountable. Instead of allowing their initial uncertainties to prevent them from moving forward, they persisted, sought knowledge, and asked for assistance until they achieved their goals. The ability to recognize and accept one's own limitations and to use those limitations as stepping stones on the path to achieving one's goals is the core of intelligence. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't do this," the next time you find yourself saying it, confront that thought. If you want to overcome the obstacle, you should ask yourself what steps you can do. Those that are intelligent are aware that the first step toward achieving success is to believe that they can discover a method to achieve it. Number 9. That's just the way it is. For all intents and purposes, this phrase is a sham. This suggests that one is willing to accept the current state of affairs, a submission to the circumstances, without any concern for change or betterment, by saying, "If it's not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Marcus Aurelius inspires individuals to question the world that surrounds them and to take action in order to make things better. Because things have always been the way they are, intelligent people never accept things in their current state. In addition to looking for ways to improve, innovate, and progress, They question the status quo. If you remark something like, "That's just the way it is," you are basically putting a stop to any progress that may have been made. When you tell yourself and other people that change is impossible, you are stifling innovation and growth. This kind of thinking is detrimental to both sides. Those who adhere to the Stoic philosophy are encouraged to conduct an in-depth analysis of their situations and to question anything that may be unfair or ineffective. When Seneca made the statement, "A good character once established cannot be overthrown by any external circumstance," he was doing so in order to underline this concept. To phrase it another way, a robust thinking has the ability to challenge the constraints that are imposed by convention. Intelligent individuals are aware that the world is always evolving, and they are aware that every moment is an opportunity to make a difference in the world. In their personal lives, workplaces, or communities, they are not scared to challenge established conventions and propose new ideas. They are not afraid to criticize current norms. This attitude of inquiry and creativity leads to innovations that have the potential to have a significant impact on society. Civil rights activists, scientists, and innovators are examples of people who have dared to question the existing quo throughout history. Think about them. They did not accept things in their current state. Rather, they envisioned a better future and put forth efforts to achieve it. This kind of thinking was typified by Marcus Aurelius himself, who, in the course of his reign, encountered difficulties, questioned established customs, and worked for reform. The most important lesson to take away from this is that accepting things because they are as they are restricts your ability to bring about substantial change. Smart people question themselves, "How can we make this better?" Or, "What can I do to change this?" when they are confronted with a problem or an inefficiency. They recognize that the path to genuine wisdom is one that involves examining and challenging one's surroundings, and as a result, they accept responsibility for those circumstances rather than abandoning them. Remind yourself that you have the ability to alter the situation the next time you find yourself stating, "That's just the way it is." Recognize the power you possess and work toward bettering yourself. Number 10. I'm too old or young for this. When it comes to learning and developing oneself, age is not a factor at all. A wise saying attributed to Seneca is that, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Intelligent people recognize that there is always opportunity for improvement, and that limiting yourself based on your age is only an excuse. This is true regardless of whether you're just starting out in life or well into your profession. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey. Life is a never-ending condition of learning. It is common for people to use their age as a barrier to pursue new passions or explore new chances when they claim, "I'm too old for this." On the other hand, individuals may be dissuaded from taking risks and embracing challenges that can lead to personal development if they say, "I'm too young." Both of these ways of thinking are flawed. Intelligence acknowledges that there are no age restrictions on the path to self-improvement. When Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury," he was referring to the significance of taking action regardless of the stage of life that one is currently in. In its most basic form, it is about breaking free from limits, whether they are self-made or enforced by society, and carving your own path. The fact of the matter is that every age carries with it its own distinct abilities and viewpoints. It's possible that younger people have new ideas and a lot of energy, while elderly people have more experience and wisdom. The combination of the two can result in astonishing discoveries and breakthroughs. Consider some of the most influential philosophers and accomplishments throughout the course of human history. There are many people who discover their mission in life or reach greatness later in life, but there are others who perform incredible things at a young age. One important thing to note is that neither age group confined themselves to a specific category. Intelligent people are aware of the vast amount of information they can acquire at any age and the various perspectives they can contribute, which helps to cultivate a culture of lifelong learning. Seneca also made the observation that the man who is poor is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. This is true in this situation. The richness of life does not come from your age, but rather from your readiness to welcome new experiences and learning. There is a limit to your capacity for progress if you disregard opportunities based on your age. Life is about growth and flexibility. Therefore, the next time you find yourself thinking, "I'm either too old or too young for this," confront that concept. No matter what age you are, you should make the most of the educational possibilities that are available to you. Number 11. I don't have time. Intelligent individuals are aware that the way in which you spend your time is a reflection of the things that you value, and time is the most valuable resource that we possess. Epictetus held a strong belief regarding the management of priorities. As he stated, "Wealth does not consist in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When someone says, "I don't have time," what they truly mean is that they are saying, "It's not a priority." People that are intelligent do not waste time. Rather, they make time for the things that are actually important to them by eliminating the distractions that are not significant. Feeling overwhelmed and claiming that there are simply not enough hours in the day is a common occurrence in the modern world, which moves at a breakneck pace. Yet the fact of the matter is that everyone has the same 24 hours. What differentiates us from one another is the way in which we choose to use our time. Intelligent people pay close attention to how they spend their time and prioritize the obligations they have made to different people. People ask themselves what is genuinely important, and then they adjust their activities to reflect that. Marcus Aurelius brought attention to the importance of priority by stating, "You may delay, but time will not." Procrastination may be a thief of time, and when we delay to act on what is important, we waste the precious minutes that we have. This statement serves as a reminder of this fact. Intelligent people are aware that it is not a matter of having time, rather it is a matter of making time for the activities that are in accordance with their values and objectives. In addition, when we remark, "I don't have time," we frequently give ourselves permission to get sidetracked by things that supply us with little value. This could be aimless scrolling on social media or binge-watching shows that provide no actual benefit. Intelligent people take measures to eliminate these distractions rather than allowing them to absorb them and consume them, whether it be for the purpose of personal growth, relationships, or the pursuit of passions. They devise timetables, establish boundaries, and carve out specific blocks of time for the things that are most important to them. The other thing that Seneca mentioned was that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. This underscores the significance of taking a conscious approach to the way we use our time. Those who are intelligent make decisions with deliberate intention and are aware that every minute they spend is a minute that they will never get back. They make sure that their time is a reflection of their genuine aspirations and passions by giving meaningful activities the highest priority. So, the next time you find yourself stating, "I don't have time," you should reevaluate the things that are most important to you. It is not a shortage of time, rather, it is a lack of focus on the things that are truly important. Number 12. It's too late. There is a perilous sense of finality associated with the phrase, "it's too late." It gives the impression that opportunities have been lost, aspirations are unattainable, and growth is no longer a possibility. However, for those who are intelligent, it is never too late. Marcus Aurelius was aware of the significance of perseverance, regardless of the circumstances. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, and to love in this life. This point of view emphasizes the significance of each new day as a new opportunity to work toward achieving our objectives and ambitions. The reality is that life is full of unexpected turns and twists, and a great number of people have discovered success or fulfillment in later years of their lives after overcoming obstacles or altering their course of action. An abundance of examples of people who fought the odds and pursued their hobbies, regardless of their age, can be found throughout history. It doesn't matter if it's a writer who publishes their first novel at the age of 60, a business person who launches a new endeavor after retirement, or an artist who discovers their voice in their later years. Every one of these individuals shares the notion that it is never too late to start over. When Seneca said, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life," he was also emphasizing the significance of making the most of the time that one is in spite of the choices we've made in the past or the possibilities we've passed up. Each day presents us with the opportunity to make decisions that can get us closer to achieving our goals. People who are intelligent are aware that regret is frequently the result of inaction rather than the pursuit of something new. And this is true regardless of how far along they are on their trip. The phrase, "it's too late," is frequently a result of dread, whether it be fear of failing, fear of being judged, or fear of that which is unknown. When confronted with such fear, intelligent individuals face it immediately. They have come to the realization that the only true failure is not making an effort. They are able to view obstacles as beneficial learning experiences rather than insurmountable obstacles with the adoption of a growth mindset. Therefore, the next time you find yourself thinking, "It's too late," keep in mind that every minute is an opportunity to take a step toward achieving what it is that you genuinely desire. There is never a time when it is too late to begin again, to make a change of course, or to follow something that ignites your soul. Number 13. People like me don't do that. This is one of the most restrictive assumptions that you could ever possess as a person. When you say something like, "People like me don't do that," you are essentially constructing a prison around yourself. You're limiting your potential by relying on preconceived notions, cultural standards, or your own concerns about your own abilities. No great thing is created suddenly, Epictetus says, bringing to our attention the fact that our actions, and not our surroundings, decide who we are. Labels and preconceived concepts of identity are not something that intelligent people let to constrict them. They have an understanding that growth is achieved by moving beyond the person that one believes they are and becoming the person that one is capable of becoming. The statement, "People like me don't do that," creates an invisible barrier that impedes growth and is a barrier that cannot be seen. When one sees other people who have accomplished great things, it is simple to say to oneself, "That might not be possible for someone like me." Those who are truly bright and smart, on the other hand, are aware that everyone begins somewhere, and that successfully challenging the status quo is frequently the source of success. In spite of one's history, level of education, or previous experience, they acknowledge that everybody is capable of forging their own path. You have power over your mind, not over events that occur outside of yourself, Marcus Aurelius famously observed. Make this a reality, and you will discover your strength. The power of thinking is directly demonstrated by this. The instant you give up control of your ideas and actions to the identity that you feel you are obligated to uphold, you give up the chance to develop and expose yourself to fresh experiences and perspectives. Defiance of expectations is something that intelligent people consciously aim to do, because they are aware that the only way to experience genuine growth is to venture outside of their comfort zone. They do not shy away from suffering. They challenge the notion that their identity should govern the choices that they make, whether it be by taking on a new career, pursuing a project that excites them, or even campaigning for change. It is clear to them that individuals who are willing to embrace uncertainty and establish their own paths are frequently the ones who achieve the most success. In addition, the annals of history are replete with tales of people who rejected the standards that prevailed throughout their era. Those who risked to pursue their aspirations despite the odds and stepped into the unknown are the pioneers in the fields of science, art, and social change. Think about them. The notion that people like me don't do that did not deter them. Rather, they came up with a new storyline to explain their actions. Therefore, whenever you find yourself thinking, "People like me don't do that," you should dispute that assumption. The question you should ask yourself is, why can't I be the exception? Keep in mind that you are capable of much more than you give yourself credit for, and that the only limits that truly exist are the ones that you set for yourself. And there you have it, 13 things that a person of intelligence would never utter. The Stoics' sage advice serves to remind us that a significant portion of our intellect is not based on the things that we know, but rather on how we think and how we communicate. It is not a cause for concern if you have found yourself using any of these phrases. The good news is that you are now aware of it, and knowledge is the first step toward making a change. Hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear it if you found this video to be helpful and want to continue your journey toward greater wisdom and understanding. Keep in mind that intelligence is not a destination, but rather a practice. Never stop gaining knowledge, never stop asking questions, and never stop developing.